Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Olamide. I'm your host. This is your program again, Tell Your Story, where it's a program where we bring in international students, people that were once international students, and for them to share their journey, their stories on how they be able to overcome their challenges while they were in school, and how they were able to transition from being a student to their various full-time careers to the goal of all this program, the goal of these interviews is just to kind of help people understand that there's no matter what they're facing, because I definitely know that as international students we face a lot of challenges even while we're in school. So the goal is to encourage people out there based on information they're able to gather from people that were once in their shoes and able to make a better informed decision. I'm thanking you guys for you guys viewing all my previous episodes. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for the likes on Instagram, from and all other medium that we are sharing this interviews with you. Thank you so much. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Just type in Tell Your Story TV on the YouTube search field, like Tell Your Story TV all together, not separately. You'll see my YouTube. Subscribe to it, like the videos, watch them, make comments like things we need to improve on, things like that. Feedbacks are really important. Also on Instagram, it's Tell Your Story at tellyourstory.tv. Please like it. We post a lot of things on Instagram and more frequently than even on our YouTube channel. So please, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So today's guest, I'm glad that we were able to have this interview. Today's guest, I'm kind of taking that from what we used to see before, and what I mean by that is most of our guests are US based, but right now my guest is UK based. So she's going to be sharing her journey moving from our home country into the UK, and how she was able to transition from as an international student into a full-time career. I'm so glad that I was able to get this time around, because it's been a long time coming. Her name is Gbemi Ojo. She's senior DevOps engineer at Accenture UK. So I am so glad, so excited to have her on this show. Thank you so much for coming.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So do you want to introduce yourself, Gbemi?
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Charles, and well done. I mean, this is an amazing platform. I'm also very delighted to be here. My name is Gbemi Ojo, and I'm a senior cloud DevOps engineer in Accenture UK. I actually studied mechanical engineering in my bachelor's and master's, and now I've transitioned into technology fully. And not just tech, but DevOps, which is a very technical area. But God has been helping me. It's been an amazing journey. So I'm very happy to be here telling my story. I'm always delighted to, every time I have an opportunity to share, my journey, things that have helped me with a larger audience. So well done, Charles, for putting this platform together, and well done for your amazing work. So like I said, I'm a DevOps engineer, and alongside that, I also volunteer as a mentor for STEM Girls initiatives. Very passionate about getting as many women as possible into STEM. I mean, I studied engineering and I'm in tech, so science, technology, engineering, and maths is definitely something I'm very passionate about. So I'm a volunteer there. I mentor girls, even within my organization as well. I organize a lot of extracurricular activities targeted at, helping women to climb up the career ladder, women sharing their stories, women at senior levels sharing their stories with women at junior levels, and also getting more women certified in cloud, AWS. And one other thing I do is I'm the founder of the Outstanding Professionals Network. So this is a network of African professionals, also a platform for people to share their journeys, but it's more focused on different areas of technology. So tech professionals in diaspora in the UK and in the US have an opportunity to share their story with Africans in Africa, so that people that are interested in getting into different tech careers can and know how to go about it. So that's in a nutshell who I am. I'm also married. I'm married. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you so much, Charles.
That's amazing. You know, as you guys can see that she does a whole lot of things, and she's also a senior cloud dev. She's not just cloud dev, she's senior cloud dev. So you know, you can see the hierarchy there. Anyways, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Yes, she made mention of STEM Girls Initiative. I can remember back in my undergrad degree, I was part of the STEM Girls Initiative, trying to get girls to code, to learn how to code, and these are secondary school, like high school girls, and it's amazing. I'm really glad about what me contributing my own quota to the STEM Girls Initiative. And thank you so much for the Ops Network. I really see what you're doing. Thank you for getting Africans to talk about. We need people to talk about stories like this, especially to show that Africans are actually doing amazing things out here. So thank you so much. Yes. And she didn't even mention of the fact that we went to the same school for our undergrad. So we finished from University of Ibadan.
University of Ibadan, yes.
First and the best university in Nigeria. So all other schools are just there, even Obafemi Awolowo University. Yeah, you can put something on your comment if you disagree on the comment box if you disagree. But it is what it is. You can't argue facts. So
you can't argue. You are the best and the
best. Yes. So I'm glad to have you here. And
thank you for having me.
And let's talk about UK's process of gaining admission. Preparing for opportunities in UK. How is that process like?
Okay, so can you take the question again? I think you broke at some point.
Okay, yes. So I was asking, what's the process of UK? What's the process of transitioning for gaining admission into the UK school?
Okay.
I believe that it might be a little bit different from the US, and people that are planning on going to school in UK can also learn from this too.
Okay, yeah. So I think for me, my personal opinion, I feel like out of all the Western countries, I feel like UK is still pretty much more straightforward than other, countries. So I would say that to a large extent, it's actually very straightforward. What is majorly required of you is your undergraduate degree. And most schools, actually, some schools take second class up and above, some take second class lower and above. But as long as you have a very good results, and you also do an English test. So most schools actually require you to do some form of English test or another. Some require TOEFL, some require IELTS, some can actually even take your WKYES English if you have C6 and above. So yes, there is that part of you having a very good result from your undergraduates, and then there is that part of you doing an English test as well. And they do require you to write. A few schools also require you to write maybe like a statement of purpose, but it's not very popular like the way it is in the US. So now securing admission is pretty much based on those things. So your results, your English, being able to speak English fluently, and then some of them actually also check basically your academic track record, your transcripts, your results, and all of that. And then you would put in your application, and you would hear back from the school. I think where it becomes a bit more complex is when you start applying for scholarships, and I feel like that's the part that requires a lot more effort, because then you have to consider the fact that so scholarship, so if you need a scholarship, then you have to write applications, and there are so many scholarships that cater to the UK. Some of them are Commonwealth, we have Chevening, we have Commonwealth Shared, we have oil and gas companies having different sponsorships, and we also have universities themselves having scholarship quotas for African students. Some universities even have for Nigerian students, like they have, and I remember Sheffield University actually has like Sheffield University scholarship for Nigerian students. I don't know if they still do it. The university I went to, Loughborough University, actually has a scholarship program for African, they choose 5 Africans every year, and they award them scholarships scholarship based on certain criteria. So usually there are scholarship incentives within the university, within government organizations, within different companies, and then they will tell you what their requirements are. Another thing for an admission in the UK, I think there's also money being available. So in addition to what I said earlier about the fact that your degree, your English results, and then also having enough funds. So for example, to apply for a visa, there's a certain amount of money you need to have in your account for a certain number of days. But one thing I should point everyone's attention to, there's something called UKYES. UKYES. You can Google it. I believe that when I was applying, they actually offer free services for people who are seeking admission in the UK. So if for anyone that is interested in studying in the UK, a lot of people don't know about this. I think they have an office in Lagos, Abuja, and Ibadan. So I don't know if they charge now, but as of 5 years ago, when I was doing it, it was actually free, but a lot of people didn't know, so we didn't take advantage of it. So they will actually guide you on the process. Yeah.
So UKYES is more of like a UK company trying to provide services for people not just in Nigeria but even maybe in Africa, other countries in Africa, and maybe all over the world too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's
yes,
great.
I believe so. Yes. UKYES.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm going to post that. You guys will see in the note description section link to UKYES so that you guys can get more information about that.
Yeah.
So you're saying, sorry for question short.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. So usually they help, they provide guidance, and they let you know. So if there are application fees and all of that, they will let you know about it. I think their own incentive comes from, I believe their incentive comes from the university. So somehow they get paid, but it's not usually directly from the person, because a lot of UK universities always want to have people, because they make a lot of money so to speak, from Africans. If you're not on a scholarship. One other thing to be aware of is that the reason why it's also good to be aware of UKYES is that usually universities in the UK do come to Nigeria a lot to sell themselves, to do exhibitions, so that you can choose them. So UKYES usually has all those information about universities that are coming. So for me, I actually had an opportunity to meet people in Loughborough University before I came to the school in UKYES office. So they told me, in the Ibadan office for that matter, so they told me that at a certain time, these people are going to be from Loughborough, come and interact with them. So I was able to speak to them. We're like only 2 people, so a lot of people don't really know about it. We spoke to Loughborough University campus representative and all of that. I even spoke to a lady who had gotten a scholarship I was trying to get as well. She shared with me tips and all of that. This was all in Nigeria. Like, I didn't even leave Nigeria. So I believe that that's what the process was like for me.
That's great. Thank you for that information. Like, I don't even know like half of what, like maybe even 1/4 of what you just said now, and that's the the reason why we're having this program, and to share that information. So even especially for my viewers that are in Nigeria, like, you have those things around your vicinity. They're in Lagos, they're in Abuja, and just like you said, they're in Ibadan right now. So those are information. And for those who are outside of Nigeria, like just like we said, basically it's this information is, we live in an internet world. You can just Google UKYES and just check about it. Are they available in your country? How can you connect with them? And learn a lot of things. Thank you so much for that information. So and scholarships are very important for international students, because
it's expensive.
coming to a country like UK where things are very expensive, it will really help you getting those things. And of course, everything is not automatic. You have to work for it. You have to show that you are very good. You have to do your due diligence, do whatever you need to do, and make sure that you leave everything to the hands of God, who can help you out in the selection process. Because that's another thing. So let's move on to talk about like settling down, and how was it like settling down in UK? It shouldn't be that bad. UK, Nigeria, I think they share some similarities.
That was what I thought.
Really?
That was what I thought. Come on, similarities. Well, maybe, I don't know from what angle we're coming from, but to a very large extent. Okay, sorry, go on.
No. I'm just saying, like, people travel like almost every now and then to UK for holidays. For UK folks come here. I just feel like, and we were colonized by the British, so I just feel like it shouldn't be that difficult. So that's my thought.
Oh well. I guess people's experiences vary to a large extent. For me,
Yeah.
I had never, okay, so for me, where I was coming from is I had never even traveled. I had only traveled out of Nigeria once before I started my master's, and that was actually the year before I started my master's. That was when we went on holiday to the US. All my life, the only life I knew was Nigeria and how we do things in Nigeria. So I think that even gave me a softer landing when I came for my master's in the UK. So I went to the US on holiday, the year before I started my master's, and oh my god, I'm like, oh my god, so there's actually a different world outside Nigeria, So moving to the UK, definitely there was still culture shock. I mean, one of the things I struggled with was the fact that they were driving on the wrong side of the road, which is different from where we drive in Nigeria. So, I mean, exactly. Little things like that. You're like, oh my god, you're crossing the road. Which side should I look at? Which side? The cars are weird. Sometimes you just go to the driver's seat. You think you're the passenger, but apparently the passenger seat in Nigeria is the driver's seat in the UK. So, all those little things, so you're consciously reminded of the fact that you're actually in a different world. And, so, there was definitely that whole,
Did you drive when you were in Nigeria?
Yes, I was driving Nigeria, and even till now, I'm still not driving in the UK.
Because is it because you're not comfortable, or why?
Well, I mean, I heard it's not. To be honest, in the US, for example, I think it's very easy to start driving if you're driving Nigeria, because. Like, even when we were on holiday, my sister was driving in the US with her Nigerian license, but I feel like the UK, they're a lot more cautious. So sorry, not to say they're not cautious in the US, they're a lot more, the process is, I mean, I think I just can't be, I haven't been so interested in it. And again, something else about the UK is that our transport system is very, very well integrated.
Everything
so you can,
true.
especially in London where I stay, like I can just step out of my house, there's a bus in front of my house, I moved to the train station. People hardly drive, I mean, to a large extent, people hardly drive in London as a city. In other cities, yes, car becomes but if you're living in London, you can't, if you drive, you're going to be more stuck in traffic than someone who took the train. So you're better off using the bus and the train. So our train system, for some people, the train station is like 5 minutes walk from the house. So why should I own a car? You pay for parking and all of that. So I've been living in London for a long time. So it's part of the reasons why I wasn't really bothered to, drive. And it's for so many people to, we can easily move around. There's train stations and bus stations everywhere. But I know in the US it's different. You need to drive before you find, because I mean...
I agree with you. So it's different from city to city. For New York is also well connected to. You have trains, and it's easier for you to move around without car than move around in your car in New York. Some other states differ too,
similar to London.
More often than not, in most states in US, having your car is just the best way to live your life, and it's easier because you get your location easily.
Even on holidays, I noticed that.
Yes, exactly. When I came here, my uncle told me, like, hey, you have to get a car. I said, I don't need a car, I'm a student. Like, car was a luxury back in Nigeria, saying that anybody has a car is a big boy or has money and things like that. But when you come to country like yes, it's not about big boy. It's about, like, if you want to survive and you want to have a life in this country, you have to have a car. So I had to get a car, and just like you said, getting a driving license is not that stringent, maybe compared to let's say UK. So you can still use your Nigeria driver's license for like few months before you're able to transition into the US license, which is pretty much good, to be honest. Because coming for holiday, I feel like I might need a car. I don't need to go through the rigor of getting driver's license and stuff like that. So,
exactly, which is good. So so speaking about culture, so I experienced culture shock, and then I also, I had to adjust my way of thinking, and thinking about the educational system as well, it was very, very different from what I experienced in Nigeria. Very different. I learned that lecturers were a lot more open. You can actually criticize your lecturers. You can go and meet them after the class if you don't understand something. They would explain to you. You can challenge your scores. They give you feedback, detailed feedback. They expect you to participate in class. Those things were different. But the good thing, and which I would advise anyone that is thinking of studying abroad, is make sure you speak to somebody maybe who are studying in that country or in that particular school before you start, so you can know what's available for you. I don't think you should go with an African mindset to a UK university. So luckily I actually had someone that helped me to transition. He had studied in Faculty of Engineering in Loughborough University, and that, which was where I did my master's. So I had like an onboarding session with him basically, and you know, he spoke to me, told me about it, these are the things that are available. So I knew that I had a lot more opportunity. I knew what was expected of me. I knew how to do my coursework, you know, I knew how to, you know, how to write. If I, you know, he taught me all these things. So even it was just like a brief session, but you know, and again I also had him to like call, and he stayed back in the UK as well, so I would always call him to find out anytime I was stuck. So it's always very important for you to know. But one thing I didn't notice is that it's very different. The educational system is very different. So you need to know that, you know, I feel like it's so much easier to do well in a country like the UK, because the lecturers actually, they want you to do well. They want you to understand. So I had to go through that mindset change. I mean, for people that schooled in Nigeria, we know how, I don't want to say too much because this is going live on YouTube, so, you know, so, but then, you know, so I had to go through that mindset change of, you know, understanding that I could approach my lecturers in a new way. I could understand things, you know, things could be a lot more easier. So yeah, so it took a while. It wasn't very straightforward to just adjust. I actually needed to recondition my mind, you know, start thinking, you know, more broadly, more widely, and all of that. And of course, I had to make friends from different nationalities as well. I became a lot more open-minded in terms of, because I mean, you can be very traditional when in Nigeria. If someone doesn't look like you can't talk to them. If they have this, you can't do, you know. But then I had to learn to make friends with people from different nationalities, and I had a reading group as well that they were very helpful. I mean, I mean, one of them was British, one was Pakistan, one was British Pakistan, you know, different nations, and we used to read together almost every night. They will come and pick me, go to the library, read. So it was very good that, you know, I was able to make friends with people outside of my skin color.
That's great. That's so amazing. I'm glad that you're able to see someone to onboard you into your new environment. You know, it's very, very good. And in terms of I'm not trying to compare more. In just maybe one word, how will you compare, or one or few words rather, why will you compare the education in UK with education in Nigeria?
I think one thing I do love, I mean, oh my god, I don't even know, compare, like, I feel like they're pretty much worlds apart to a large extent, you know. Okay, so now in Nigeria, yes, we have the beautiful thing about Nigerian educational system, I'm speaking, you know, for government investing and all of that. Yes, I learned a lot. Given the fact that I studied the same course, this is how I will put it. Because I studied mechanical engineering in Nigeria, and I studied the same thing as my master's in the UK. So studying in Nigeria, the curriculum was actually amazing, to be honest. It gave me the foundation I needed. I think it was just, what was really missing was a lot of practical sides of it and relating this concept to real world. So when I came to do my master's, and we talk about things like, you know, when we do maybe the same course, maybe strength of materials, and I'm doing advanced strength of materials, and we do calculations and all of that, and we're in group discussions, and you'll be like, oh, and we finish calculations, I'll be like, okay, so, you know, maybe the strength of the steel on this car is so kilo, you know, so I can't remember the units of strength. My God, I forgot the mechanical engineering. Anyway, so if we say, let's say for example, the energy that, therefore, maybe the answer is the energy that this car needs is, you know, 300 kilojoules or something. I noticed that my colleagues would start discussing, oh my God, 300 kilojoules is actually quite small. What do you guys think about it? You know, so how can we? And in my mind, I was looking at it like,
just 300 kilojoules.
I never made sense out of my my calculations or answers, you know, in Nigeria. So I feel like, what does it really mean? How does this translate to real world? You know, so they'll be like, no, but a motorcycle shouldn't have this kind of energy. It's quite small. We made a mistake somewhere. And you know, so to be honest, that was a big shocker for me. So they could relate. You know, even when we talk about things like creep, they'll be like, oh my God, can you see that metal outside? Oh, there's experiencing creep. You know, can you gauge the coefficient of friction? I couldn't gauge. To be honest, I couldn't do that. You know, of course, I knew it theoretically. But the beautiful thing is, Yeah, but the beautiful thing is, having studied those things in Nigeria, it was easy for me to ease into the practical side because I already knew all the theoretical. So it was like I was doing the practical version of everything I knew. So yes, Nigeria gave me a very solid foundation. UI gave me a very solid foundation, and lots of dots, lots of knowledge everywhere. And I feel like studying in the UK just connected all those dots for me in my head. Okay, so this is how we work. This is how. So yeah, so that's kind of like my experience both ways. They were both good, but yeah.
Yeah, well, each of them has a part to play in the whole process, I guess. I agree with you. Now, tell me about like you in being studying abroad. Tell us, how was it like? Let me break it down in this way. Like, what would you advise people studying abroad to do? I know you said one or two things. Like, you're in school right now, you're a student. What do you think students should be doing while studying, and also and you can also talk about even in preparation for after school too. Let's talk about that.
Okay, amazing. The last thing you said was preparation for job, right? Because
Yes.
I lost you. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Right, very good question. And in fact, I was like, how about I'll jump ahead of myself? While you're in school, I think it's very important for you to be planning for what you plan to do outside of it, even as you're paying your maximum attention to the work you're doing. To be honest, is for UK, luckily the master's is 1 year, and I don't see any reason why that 1 year should be wasted, or it should be, yes, you would play, have some fun here and there, but you should stay focused, because that 1 year is like a kairos moment that could determine your career, your future, everything else that happens after. So it's very important. First thing I would say is, have a rough idea of what you want to do after. Do you want to do a PhD? Do you want to get a job? Know what you want to do after. Do you want to go back to Nigeria, get a job in the UK? Know what you want to do afterwards. It's very important. That drives it. Now, even as much as you know that, the second thing I would say is be open and be flexible, even with whatever your plan is. Have your plan A, plan B, plan C. Your plan A is to get a job. Perfect. What if it doesn't work out? My plan B is to do a PhD. What if it doesn't work out? My plan C is to, go back to Nigeria. However you want it. So have your plan. Know what your priorities are. Now, the next thing I would say is start working towards it. I tell you, from the day I landed in UK, I told you I had someone that helped me. Yeah. From the day I landed in UK, I knew that I was going to do my best to try to get a job. I was from when I came, it wasn't so. Month 1, September 2016, in that first month, I got my CV ready, and I put there masters, and I put all the modules I was going to study, and I put there expected grade distinction. I mean, nobody will arrest you, it's expected, so if I don't get it, that's what I thought I was going to get. So you have it in your CV. You should have your CV ready. Now, most universities actually have career programs, career events, and things like that. Make sure you attend all those things. Speak to people who you know. Maybe if you know them, they got a job and all of that. Speak to them, ask them what their experience are. But I think the first thing, if you plan to get a job in the UK, have your CV ready as early as possible. Now, the way recruitment works in the UK is very funny. For a job that is September next year, let's say for example September 2021 job, they are already going to start recruiting by now, September 2020. From September 2020 to around December 2020. So you cannot finish your masters in August 2021 and I'm saying, I'm thinking of getting a job. They will have people that already got the job will know. And I tell you my personal example, because I was doing these things, I had my CV ready, I was attending careers program and all of that. That was when they told me about the power of LinkedIn and all of that. Immediately I did LinkedIn. So have your CV ready, have rough sketch of cover letter, because cover letters, you need to adapt it for different countries, companies, depending on what the company's values are and all of that. Then your LinkedIn page. Your LinkedIn page needs to have everything that you've done. All your extracurricular activities from, wherever, university days or, secondary school, volunteer activities, put them on your LinkedIn, put the skills that you gained on it and all of that. You can check my LinkedIn profile if you need, but I've changed my LinkedIn profile from a graduate LinkedIn profile to, but I'm sure there are probably people that you can look at what they're doing and follow their pattern. So I had all my experiences, and then I was a student ambassador in Loughborough. I put it there and all, I put it there too, so all your experiences, put it on LinkedIn, have your CV ready, and then you can now start being on the lookout for jobs. Almost every UK university has, like I said, careers network. They do careers fair. Make sure you attend everything. Attend it, speak to companies, because something about the UK is that they do networking a lot. I'm sure it's same as the US as well. They prefer to hire somebody that they've spoken to. Sometimes they actually recruit from networking events, and they'll speak to you, they like you, they ask you a few questions, they like your enthusiasm, and the next thing they're offering you an interview, which of course you've already made an impression, so it's easier for you to get the job. Of course, they won't tell you that. Sometimes they won't tell you that it's from networking, but to be honest, some of them have actually made up their mind already from networking events. I know examples of people both in the UK and in the US that got jobs just by attending the networking events, a careers program. So it's very important. Connect with people on LinkedIn who have similar. Like, the world is so global right now that you can just go on LinkedIn and search your university, people that have attended university, see what they're doing. If you see someone that is working in a company that you're interested in working in, get in touch with them. Tell them, oh, I'm also studying this university. You struck a bond already. You both are in, the person studying in University of Nottingham, for example, and you're not University of Nottingham. Just tell them that, oh, I'm studying the same degree that you studied. Could you guide me? Could you? And then later build a relationship, and then you can talk about job later. So I think it's very important. If I can say that, what should you be doing during your masters? Yes, focus 100%. Focus your maximum attention to getting the best grade possible, and alongside, make sure you are preparing for what you want to do outside, because that's when opportunities start coming. Because I did this, God really favored me, yes, but I was also prepared. I had my CV, I had everything ready. I had my LinkedIn profile ready. One day, I got a message on LinkedIn. I remember very clearly. It was December, 3 months after I came to the UK. I told you I had everything ready already. I got a message from LinkedIn, and they said, oh, we're looking for mechanical engineering graduates to come and do internships in P&G. P&G R&D departments in the UK. Would you be interested? I said, what? Of course I'm interested. Like, I'm just coming from Nigeria. Which kind of question is that? So I told them I was interested. And the next day, send your CV. My CV was ready. Send a cover letter. Everything was ready. I sent to them. Although they came back and said, oh, we have a different format and everything. But I already learned how to put your CV, how to package yourself, how to talk about I already learned all those things from Careers Network, all the events, careers fairs that my school organized. So all those things really helped me. So I was prepared. I was ready. I started the interview process in December. As a March, they already gave me an offer that I could do an internship with them from September of the next year, of that year. So I got my offer 6 months in advance for when I was going to start. So these people in the UK, they're very proactive. People have jobs. I had people that were doing masters that they had jobs that they were going to start after the masters already. As a result of the fact that they did placements here in that company. So they just came out and did their masters. They already had a job ready. So you need to understand that people that you're in class with, some of them already have a job that is waiting for them. Just coming from Nigeria, you have to up your game. So let me stop there for now.
Yeah, I totally thank you. You've said a lot and you've covered a lot, and I'm so glad that you're able to cover as much ground as that. Thank you so much for just pouring that out to us. I think it's very, very important. So you made mention
Charles,
of,
I can't hear you. Sorry.
You got your,
I think it's breaking. Okay, yes, I can hear now.
So as I was saying, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
So,
yes, sir.
So you made mention of the fact that you got a job P&G as a summer intern, right?
Yes.
So that's a summer internship, right? And
it was an internship. It was a fixed internship. It was a 4-month internship.
Wow. So within your 1-year master's program, you're able to get a summer internship. That's amazing. That's the shock for me, and I needed to just confirm that, because most people feel like when you get to UK, it's very hard for you to get summer internship because your program is already 1 year. So it's not possible. And thank you for informing us that it is possible.
Yes, just it is. And it is. Let me just shed a bit more light on that. It's actually, even to be honest, I didn't know as well. And that's the thing about when you're taking these things very seriously. Like I said, my plan was, okay, I'll get a job and all of that. And I didn't know what was obtaining, but I just knew I was going to put in my best in whatever. My LinkedIn profile was ready and they reached out to me. What they actually wanted was summer. But then I told them that, okay, I'm doing a 1-year master's program and I'm only available in August after my master's program. Can I do it after? And they said, oh, well, we're actually flexible on the dates. So it doesn't have to be summer, like June to September, whatever the summer months are. So when I told them that, they were like, okay, fine, that's good. And then I told them that, so one thing also that happens in the UK, while I was coming, because I believe that people might be watching this video at different times, but while I was coming to the UK in 2016, they gave me just a visa that was going to cover my master's, and then like 4 months after. So I started my program September 2016, and my visa was expiring February 2018. So which meant that after my 1 year program, I basically just have 4 months left in the UK to search for a job or whatever. And that's why you can't wait till then. You have to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So my option, like I said, I left my options open. I was open if I was going to get a job in the UK. I also wasn't, I didn't rule out the fact that I could go back to Nigeria. So I was not, I mean, the options were open. So even as I did that September, even as I started applying, I was applying for both internships and jobs, whatever it is that I could get, you know. So a company reached out to me and said, we have an internship, and they were flexible. And I was like, why not? I'll give it an option. Even after I got P&G offer, I still continued applying for full-time job. I still continued, but again, it's actually a very difficult process. I didn't get it, but eventually things worked together for my good. After I did my internship, God favored me again, because I mean, when I started my internship again, and I noticed that it wasn't, because again, internship, they said it could lead to a full-time offer, so that was encouraging. But when I got to the company, I saw a native job. It was amazing, it was good, but a part of me still felt like maybe I should do something different for my career. So even while I was doing my internship, I was still trying to look out for jobs. Bear in mind, I said that usually they recruit about a year in advance, but again, a lot of companies still do what they call they recruit on a rolling basis. So some companies might not necessarily be so fixated on September, you know, because a lot of companies will do graduate programs. So especially for engineering, they will say, 3 years graduate program. So they follow that academic system. They know you're graduating in August, so they want to do September 2020, September 2023, something like that, you know. But then I had it in mind that I was going to do my best to keep applying for jobs. So while I was doing my internship, and I noticed that I don't think I really want this for a full-time career, and I don't think they even have an opportunity for me to stay back and all of that, I continued applying for jobs. And because again, my options were so open, my priority indeed was that I should get a mechanical engineering graduate job, but that didn't happen. And I found out about consulting. I spoke to people. That's another thing. If you're interested in something, particularly in the country that you don't know anybody, anyone that comes your way, let them be aware of what you're interested in. So everywhere, people knew that I wanted to get a job. And this thing happened to some of my friends too that were interested in PhD. If you see them, there was PhD written all over their face. Everybody around them knew. So once anybody hears of PhD opportunity, the person that comes to your mind is that person is always shouting that it was PhD. Even you to think about it, someone is always in your face about what they want. If you ever hear of an opportunity, that person will come to your mind, let me speak to Michael about it. I know people got PhD based on the fact that they were just telling everybody, church, go to anywhere, I'm planning to get a PhD. I want to do a PhD. If you know anything about PhD, you know, so opportunities come that way. So if you're interested in something, you know, you should let it show. So yes, I was interested in a job. I spoke to people. I connected with some of my secondary school friends I hadn't spoken to in years, just to that they've been based in the UK. You know, I just reached out to them. I mean, what do I have to lose? I'm
sure most of us shy about it. Yeah.
I wasn't, and I was ready. I mean, I just wanted to. I'm just going to be here for 1 year. I might as well just exhaust myself. Know that I did everything I could, but it was not God's plan. That's why it didn't work out. So that's the mindset I want us to work with. You have just 1 year, 365 days, maximize it, because it could potentially change our lives, especially for people that are really keen about leaving Nigeria and all of that. This is an opportunity to actually change that. You know, it's a life for me. I saw it as because I mean, working in a different country anyway, you know, so yes, it was a potentially life-changing opportunity. So I really let people know. So eventually it was one of my friends that told me about, you know, this company Accenture. They don't have any restrictions on when they recruit any time of the year. Why don't you apply, even though it's consulting, you know? And I did, and you know, yes, last minute, quarter to when my visa was about to expire, about 3 weeks to when my visa was about to expire was when I got the job offer. And so they did my visa and all of that. Yeah.
So wow. So two things I want to put in one. So you had your mechanical engineering master's degree and you got a job in Accenture consulting.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yes.
Not much of IT background, but Accenture was willing to take you, train you up, and you are now a senior cloud DevOps engineer. That's so amazing. Congrats once again for that.
Thank
that
you.
switching and being able. I know it's a whole lot of hard work on your end because you didn't have any background and things like that. Then the second thing I wanted to also talk about is that you were talking about they were able to do your visa. So I know most of the time, at least for a few of my friends, they have to actually leave the country for some time, maybe because of the visa processing time it was closed, so they have to leave so that they can come back again. Maybe it takes them 2-3 months. I don't know what the time frame was, but what's that scenario like, so that people can also understand and
okay, yeah,
have that in mind.
yeah, okay, yeah. So this thing varies from year to year. So I'm going to speak as of when my time, like I said, during my time, 2016, they gave us a visa that could only last, that you literally would do your masters in 12 months and you have just 4 months left. So the visa was for about 16 months. Yeah. But I know that the UK has been talking about bringing back what you call post-study visa, which means that even after you finish your program in 1 year, you have 2 years to decide a job, to get a job and all of that. So I would advise anyone watching this video to actually check what the latest is for the year that you're watching it. But I know that the UK has talked about changing it in maybe 2020 or 2021, to start giving people post-study visa, because they did that like 10 years ago, and a lot of people were able to stay back very easily. But during my time when I came, it was a case of you have a student visa for 16 months if you're doing a 1 year program, so you basically just have a little time after. So Accenture, luckily, the company I got the opportunity for, they decided to sponsor my visa. So what happened was that the reason why I didn't have to go back is because I had time because the thing is, you must not be in the UK if your visa has expired. You need to leave at least even 3 days before your visa is about. It's very risky for you to just leave it to the last day, because they start looking at you like, were you actually contemplating staying illegal in the UK, which a lot of people do, which is very, very unadvisable and very risky. If your visa has expired or is about to expire, please go back to Nigeria. You don't want to tarnish your international record. It matters a lot. So yes. So what happens is that if you have a company that is willing to sponsor your visa, and they can work with the time frame that is left from when they've made the decision to sponsor your visa and when your visa is about to expire, you don't need to go back to Nigeria. You can stay in the UK, because the UK knows that your visa is being worked on. So it's already in Home Office record. They know that this company has decided to sponsor your visa and all of that. And the thing is, there are also cases where a company can decide to do priority visa application for you, that your new status comes out in like 1 week. I was very privileged that was what happened to me. My story changed in a week. Like, I got the job, and within a week, like, they had changed my visa from a student visa to a work visa, priority visa, because my stay, like I said, it was so close to when I was living. They had to work on it fast. For some people, I have friends that they got their jobs like the September, they got their job to start September after they finished their masters. So they had enough time. They had about 4 months. So even when the companies did the long process, 4 to 6 weeks application, everything fell within the time frame of before their visa expired. So for people that have to go back, it might be a case of maybe they got the job and they just got the job very close to when their visa was about to expire. So they need to go back, and then the company can actually sponsor their visa here and then bring them back to the UK. That's also very possible. So that's probably the reason why people need to, and people do that for PhD as well too. If your student visa doesn't get extended after you finish your masters and you want to start a PhD, you need to go back to Nigeria, and then you apply for a new visa and all of that, and then there's a gap and all of that, and then you get your visa, and then you come back when your visa is ready.
Wow, that's so great. That good information there, and thank you for sharing that, because I always hear situations around that, and thank you for bringing the fact that things might actually change right now. And I think I've been hearing news that UK is trying to, especially now they've left Brexit
has happened,
so Brexit has happened, so things are changing now in terms of people applying for jobs, and from overseas and things like that. So it's something for you guys to check out and see how you can, for those that are willing to move to UK, can see how they can move, the ways to move in. Thank you so much for sharing that. And in terms of like starting to wrap up, I want you to kind of tell us about how was it easy? And just in few words though, share us for those people switching from maybe different fields to, let's say, an IT field. What would be your advice to people, based on things you've learned, things you think you could have even done better that could have accelerated that change? I want you to talk about that.
Yeah, I get this question most times when people notice that I studied mechanical engineering and I'm working in IT.
Yeah.
Number one thing I would say is be sure that you're interested in making that change, because it's actually, I'm being honest, it's actually quite tough. It's very difficult because I work with graduates that studied computer, people that had first class in computer science. Those are the people I'm working with, and this is a field I did not study. So I actually recognize the fact that it is a lot of hard work and I was willing to commit to it. So that's the first thing. Recognize that this is a lot of work and be willing to commit to it, which is definitely advisable because in this day and age, a lot of things are going to the cloud. It's mainly about technology. A lot of people should actually consider switching. Let's not be too boxed down, or this is what I studied. I studied chemistry, I studied this. Even if you want to stay in that field, start thinking about how technology influences that field. So yes, exactly. I would say that be willing to actually put in the work. So yes, there was a lot of hard work involved. I recognized that I was doing something difficult, so I was willing to put in extra hours. So I didn't just do 9 to 6. As in every weekend, after work, before work, I was always studying because I knew I needed to catch up with what people studied in school. Wow. So within the area of what I was doing, cloud, I was just trying to study as many materials as possible. Within DevOps as well, I'll watch videos. Most things, Google was my best friend, or is my best friend, because I'm still in that journey, but of course I'm a lot more grounded now. But when I was trying to, it was a very steep learning curve for me. So I'll Google a lot. I'll Google when they give me work to do, I'll Google how to do this from scratch, or how to do this as a layman. I used to use that word a lot. Or this thing for dummies, So I'll say speeding up a virtual machine for dummies, and then I'll see, because I wanted it to be as simple as possible, because I didn't have any background. I don't even know. Some people are explaining things. I don't even know the meaning of what they're explaining. So I needed to understand things from basics. So. And every time I came across things I didn't understand, I'll Google it too. I would take time. So it was mainly, and I was working in consulting. I always had deliverables, always had things to do. Every time I had something to do, I would Google how to do it from scratch. I also leveraged my colleagues as well. I had colleagues that were very good. And one of my strengths is actually being able to build relationships with people. So I knew that was also going to help me in terms of learning from people. So a lot of people that are very good, sometimes they don't like to talk too much, I don't know, but I was always on their case. I would sit down there. You have to explain this thing to me, because what's the value of this knowledge in your head only? Share it. You can't go to heaven with it, so share the knowledge. So my ability to build relationships with people also helps, because I was able to learn from anyone, whether you're quiet, whether you're loud, it doesn't matter. I just focus on what I want to learn, and people, so I that also helps me. So learning from my colleagues, putting in extra hours, those are the things that helped me.
Wow, that's so great. I'm so glad, so excited about your journey, what you've done so far. It's really, really great for me to see the possibility, the endless possibility in in what people go through and how they've been able to overcome their various challenges. And your story is just so amazing. And
thank you.
You actually pointed out a whole lot of points I feel like our viewers out there can actually pick, because it's always good to know where you are. I always tell people, especially in US, we have majority, we have minority. Black Americans are literally minority in the US. You're an international student, you're black, so you are you're not just a minority
of the minority.
You're a minority of the minority. So things are not going to work out straight, and that's why when you made a point, you started your process made the very first month. And one thing that is good that you also mentioned is the onboarding, having somebody out there telling people about your issues, talking it out. And that's the same exact thing I did, to always talking this is what I want to do. And I never believed that there's anything impossible for me to do. I believe that
yes, so important.
Everything is possible for me. And I'll be sharing my story very soon, guys. I'm going to be sharing
I can't wait to hear myself.
I'm going to share. Actually, I'm going to be sharing my story on December 17th. That's my birthday. I'm going to be putting out the video out December 17th. It's not going to be live, so it's going to just be. I'm going to pull it out because I'll be working that day, so I have to just put the video out and for people to listen to. Now, in wrapping up this conversation, just briefly, just tell us what you're currently working on, and last few words, like
Hmm.
that'd be great.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm currently working on, I was having a chat with Charles at the beginning of this conversation that I just got a new job. I mean, by the time you guys are watching this video, it's probably on my LinkedIn profile already, so there's nothing to hide about it. So I'm moving on from Accenture to a different company, which you'll find out if you check my LinkedIn profile.
Yes,
So I'm
check
moving
it
on
out.
to I got yeah. So I'm getting a new. So I'm transitioning into a new role, and I'm moving into more complex things. I've done DevOps for a couple of years, so I'm going to move into DevSecOps, cybersecurity, and all those things. Again, I know it's going to be challenging. I'm getting ready for the challenge, but again, I mean, tech is paying so well, and the more the more complex things the more money is coming to your account, so why not
Exactly.
bring on the learning. So I feel like tech is actually a field where I think being your ability to learn, if you're somebody that is they call you a freeway, you like to read, you like to study, you like to figure things out, then tech is a very good field for you, because I mean, the more the more skills you acquire, the more likely you get paid. There's so many high paying jobs in tech right now. So yes, I have plans to have as many hard technical skills as possible, increase my income as much as possible, double, triple in the next couple of years. So that's what I'm working on. I'm
Boss
also
lady there.
yeah, so and I'm bringing my passion of getting, I mean, just trying to get more I'm also currently in the process of rebranding the Ops network, and trying to see how I can help professionals get into tech a lot better, because I see that there are actually lots of vacancies in tech, and I feel like the skill sets are not matching up. So I'm in the process of rebranding it. So look how it's going to be a long process anyway. Maybe next 1-2 years you see a rebranded version of the Ops net. So just trying to help as many African, my focus is really on African professionals, black women, and all of that, because I feel like these are the under noticed people. So these are the people I want to kind of bring to the limelight and help them to get into tech, help them to progress their careers in tech. So these are the things I'm working on at the moment. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. So if you want to check out what our Ops Network, I'm going to be posting the link to our Instagram page, the Ops Network, so that you guys can follow our page. She's doing amazing stuff there. Thank you so much. I'm very sure Accenture is lucky to have you guys. Have you in the company. Thank you for all your help and support in bringing ladies into the fold, into the company, and pouring out yourself continuously, and it's really amazing. And thank you once again for coming on the show. Maybe one of these I'll bring you back again. Maybe we'll talk about something else.
No problem at all. I'm happy to come anytime.
Yes. So guys, this is another wrap of another episode, and I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I don't know if you guys watched to the end, but definitely it's been an amazing conversation with Gbemi Ojo, and I can't just wait to see what is in store for her in years to come. Maybe she will become the senior vice president, or maybe president of one big giant company like this. So definitely she's somebody to watch out for. Connect with her on LinkedIn. I'll be posting on LinkedIn also a link to our LinkedIn page too. She's somebody you want to connect with. Thank you once again, and have a